Okay, in the previous video we added BTC 7960 drivers, connected them to motors and to the power module. Today I am gonna add SpeedyBee F405 flight controller. Here I prepared a few wires, red for 5 volts, black for ground. These wires will power on the BTS 7960 control module with 5 volts, and these cables, yellow and green, I will use to connect flight controller S1, S2 PWM signal to an appropriate parts on BTS 7960. Before I will solder in wires, I have to eject these wires from the connector. So now I've prepared this cable for soldering here. What we have in here, this is the red and black wire, is responsible for battery power and its ground, and these blue wires, it's an appropriate PWM signals for S1, S2, S3 and S4. S1 and S2 we will use to control the left driver, left side of wheels on our rover, and the S3 and S4 PWM signals we will use to control the right driver BTS 7960, which controls the right side. The black wire is soldered here and isolated with this blue isolation, and now I'm gonna solder the red wire, which will be used to connect the battery power to the flight controller directly. Oh, awesome. Looks really nice. contacts for left side of motors S1 and S2, S1 green, S2 yellow are ready. So the cable which will connect our flight controller F405 with the battery and with the drivers BTS7960 is ready. So with this blue isolation I marked the cable which responsible for parts S1, not S1, S3 and S4 on flight controller, which is responsible for right side of motors, right driver. So this will be S1, S2 for left side, this S3 and S4 for right side of motors. And also don't forget to double check all the connections in our cable that they have a signal in testing mode. As you remember, we also have to supply our BTS7960 drivers with 5 volt power, and I decided to do this with ground and 5 volt pads on flight controller, which is reserved for LEDs. So I will use left and right side accordingly, which is reserved for LEDs, to power on the control module on BTS7960. So left side power cable is ready, and now I'm gonna make the right side. We'll remove this yellow part. Ground wire is gonna be connected here. Now let's start with 5 volts. 5 volts here. Is connected and ground. This is turn for ground, for the ground part. Yeah, fine. So the power wires for left and right BTS 7960 are ready and connected to flight controller. So this time I really like this double-sided tape, and I'm gonna put our flight controller here on double-sided tape, here on the another side of this frame. Okay, let's put it here. I think it might be something like this. Yeah. So flight controller is mounted here, and now I'm gonna complete the first layer of the rover, connecting all inappropriate wires. As you may see in here, I have connected VCC and ground to an appropriate paths on BTS 7960, and as well as this green and yellow from flight controller from S3 and S4 to RPVM and LPVM paths on BTS 7960 accordingly. So the connections for the right driver is ready, and I'm gonna proceed connecting the same BTS 7960 for left side. So left driver and right drivers also connected to flight controller. Tightening screws in here. So this is the first layer of the ground rover is completed now, and according to the instructions in AI-driven Autonomous FPV Drone Development book, according to the assembling instructions in AI-driven Autonomous FPV Drone Development book, we have completed the first layer. First layer, it's the motors and drivers, and even a little bit started the next second layer with the controller and different sensors. And the next we will connect here to our flight controller ELRS radio receiver 2.4 gigahertz to make it possible connect and bind with the radio controller for manual control. So this is just the first step, but it's necessary to create your autonomous ground rover, the rover of your dream. See us in the following videos, comment and like the current one.